Before this episode begins, I'd just like to express my strongest appreciation to Apple Computers Incorporated for featuring my Transformers fan-made trailer on the Apple TV in the Apple Store, and also another honorable mention to HubCityFord for doing the same in the main lobby of their service center. I am truly grateful for these endorsements and dedicate most of my gratitude to all the Alfonsos out there that made this possible for me. Thank you guys so much, y'all are awesome. So without further ado, please enjoy approaching TF5 episode number 36. This trailer was absolutely incredible. It was really fantastic. This entire movie is going to be huge. What is up, Alfonso Nation? It's Alfonso Peterman here today yet again, and welcome to another episode of my Approaching TF5 series. This is simply a series where I discuss all the facts and all the rumors in regards to the upcoming Transformers The Last Night movie. This is episode number 36, and today we have a lot to discuss. There's a lot going on, so we're going to dig into it, but today in specific detail, we're going to talk about the teaser trailer. Yes, for those of you who live in Bikini Bottom, the Transformers The Last Night teaser trailer came out on December 5th, 2016. Meaning that the teaser trailer is out for anyone to watch. It's on YouTube, it's anywhere, and so today in this video, we're going to be breaking down this trailer scene by scene. So yeah, we're going to go right into it. First of all, I just want to announce that this trailer got a lot of people's attention. This was a trailer that people were anxiously waiting on, myself and Shady included. So yeah, this was big, you know, I mean, this was not just like, oh yeah, teaser trailer, let's just fiddle fuck around. No, this was like a big thing. A lot of people saw it, and 57 million views in just 12 hours. Like, not even a full day. It already got 57 million, making it the second highest trailer of 2016, which is insane, incredibly insane. So we're gonna break it down piece by piece, so let's begin. Alright, so the trailer begins with the Paramount logo, pretty classic, a Viacom company, and what you see next, it fades into this, it's a cross, I believe, it's like the head of a sword, then it fades off into a battle scene in Bourne Woods, with a bunch of medieval soldiers in the forest. I believe this particular scene is a flashback. It transfers over into a scene, but I believe it's also a flashback, and you see the metallic three-headed dragon as was seen in the poster, the first banner that was released for Transformers The Last Night, where you had Optimus Prime with his sword, and you had the three-headed dragon kind of peeking off the right edge of the screen. Many people believe it's Predaking, and I'm kind of leaning towards that as well, but we don't exactly know. It could be a good dragon or a bad dragon. And here's the reason why, okay? When you look at the banner, the dragon itself was appearing to go against Optimus Prime. Now, if you think about it, okay, well, if a dragon is going against Prime, the dragon's evil, and Prime is good. But no, there's a little twist in this movie. It seems that Prime is going to be evil. So maybe the evil Prime is fighting the good dragon, or vice versa. We don't know their factions. We don't know what side they're on, but we do know at some point they may come against each other and fight Optimus Prime versus this three-headed dragon. Now, another thing, I guess the reason why they did that on purpose is because if you look at the banner that was released, if you look at Optimus Prime's eyes, it's not blue or purple, you know? So they kind of like blacked it out, so that way you won't be able to tell whether he's in his good mode or if he's in his bad mode. You can't really know, like, because it's blacked out, and I think they purposely did that so that you can't foreshadow anything, but whatever. So that's the next scene, and then it switches over into another Bourne Woods type battle scene where you have the medieval soldiers with their fiery arrows as if they're ready to fight, as if they're ready to shoot the arrows. It switches over into a current day scene, and what I believe is more of a more modern day scene with the Nazi flag, with the explosions, and it's Winston Churchill's mansion again, and you got the explosions and the battle going on. And then it switches over to soldiers in battle, like they're fighting, and it seems that they're running towards something, but whatever they're running towards, it exploded. And now the explosion was so powerful, the blast radius was so huge that they all fell down in the midst of the explosion. I believe that these particular soldiers are involved with the Transformers Reaction Force, the TRF, the soldiers that's gonna be involved. That's what I believe they are. It looks like it. So, and then it switches over to from director Michael Bay, the beautiful transition, and then it switches into the stadium. Now this stadium really got me. Like, if you guys look at my reaction, I was like, whoa, because I wasn't ready for it, you know? The only time we ever saw like a stadium type thing was with Transformers 2007, when the Autobots came to Earth and then Jazz crash landed into I guess it was a baseball, or I don't know if it was a football or baseball. It was a stadium. It was a sports stadium. He crashed into it, and that's all we really saw of that. But this particular scene looks like it's going to feature a destructive scene with a stadium. If you look at the stadium, there's like a bunch of debris on like where the seats are. The entire stadium itself looks like a football stadium. Is destroyed, the grass is destroyed. There's a big like crater in the middle of it, as if something landed there. And if you look into the distance, you can see the city in the background, meaning that the stadium itself was kind of chipped off, kind of like the Roman Coliseum. You know, it's like a full stadium, but then like because of the ruins and how many, you know, all the stuff that happened over time, it was chipped off, and so you can kind of see inside of it. But if we continue to the next scene, we're going to see something very interesting, and that is we see a crashed drone ship piece. The Decepticon drone ship. We already know about the drone ships, right? We've seen drone ships all throughout the trilogy. We've seen it with Dark of the Moon, the chase with Bumblebee, and Crosshairs versus the Decepticons. We've seen Decepticon drone ships. The Decepticon drone ship is back. And of course you see the kids walking up to it. So these kids have been seen a lot of times, and this is where they're first featured in the Transformers trailer. And then it switches over into Isabella Moner, and she's looking, and she's almost about to cry, and she's like, oh my god, it's a very traumatic moment for her, and she's staring. Now I'm not sure if she's staring at the next individual that we're about to see, or if it's like a different scene, but they kind of meshed it together to make it look like they were looking at each other. Me personally, I think it is a scene where she's looking at this next individual, and when you switch to the next scene, you know the next individual is this Autobot. Now this Autobot, if you look at many reactions all over the internet, this particular Autobot is like what? Like, who are you? Nice to meet you. So yeah, we have never seen this guy before. We've seen him only, the only time I've seen him is whenever they had this trailer, that this little teaser thing came out, saying that the trailer was going to be the next day. So December 4th, after the filming was over, Michael Bay made this little montage of the filming, and if you kind of like slow one of it down, one of the shots is a head bust of this particular Autobot. So we don't know its name. A lot of people think that it's a Junkion. A lot of people think that it's the Wrecked Gar. A lot of people think that it's a mystery Autobot that we've never seen before. We do have some medieval Autobots. So we have some medieval characters, but they don't really fit what he looks like. So me personally, I'm just from what he looks like, I think that's Warpath. I would love for him to be Warpath. We haven't seen a Autobot tank in the live action franchise, so that would be something really different. I would love for this guy to be Warpath. And so if you investigate this particular scene, he looks like he's broken, he's tattered. If you look in the corner, you can see fire, so he's in a battle scene, and he's like probably really injured, and he's like at the very lowest point. So hopefully he doesn't die, because knowing Michael Bay introduces characters and then kills them in the same movie. So hopefully this guy doesn't die. Hopefully he lasts for quite a little while, but we don't know for sure who exactly he is. And then it switches over to a really interesting scene that I was not really expecting, you know? It was a scene of an underwater excavation, like a project. We don't know who's gonna be in these submarines. There's 2 submarines. We don't know who's in it. We don't know what this project is about, but we do know that it's underwater, and there's this huge mega Cybertronian structure seen underwater. I believe this is really deep. I believe this is at like the ocean floor, and I believe that they're investigating something, that there's something beneath the ocean floor that the humans are trying to discover, a Cybertronian tunnelway that they're going into. So in my opinion, I believe that they might be looking for a relic. This particular scene just may be like the US Navy, and they might have been scanning and they might have found something at the bottom of the ocean, so they sent some submersibles or some submarines to go down there and investigate. We don't know what this is, but we do know that it's something very important just by the fact that it's in water and there's a Cybertronian structure. Like, that's something that we've never seen before. And then the shocking scene comes after that. You hear Anthony Hopkins narrate and say, Optimus Prime has left us. And you see Optimus Prime fully blacked out, and his eyes are blacked out, and he is literally like stiff, and he is dead. He is in deep space, dead, floating around. There's like some debris around him. There's a huge planet to the left side, and a smaller little planet or like a moon to the right hand side. So he is floating in the deep cosmos, and many people are like, what the hell? Right? So basically what I think this is, yes, I do believe Optimus Prime will die. Now there's many different ways he can die. You know, Optimus Prime can, because again, we do know that in Age of Extinction, he left to search for the creators, right? He left because he was going to look for the creators, to find them, and to confront them face to face. So this can mean that either he found the creators, they came face to face, and they just wiped them out. Now personally, if that is the case, I don't believe they beat him up, because he would be a whole lot more destroyed, right? He would have pieces broken out of him. He would have like, he would be smoking. He'd be on fire. If they beat him up, like if they like ripped him apart, he wouldn't be intact like he is. So if the creators did kill him, I believe it would be like they probably just drained his energon. They just drained his spark to the point to where he died. I don't believe that they just like beat him up so bad to the point where he died, because again, he's intact. And also, you see him again later on in the trailer and he's intact. So I don't think he's gonna be like beat up, because the creators are huge. From what, you know, the concept art to look, there's like a big hand in space. They look huge. So if they beat him up, he would not be in one piece. He would not have 2 arms and 2 legs and 1 head, right? He would be in many different pieces across the cosmos. So if they killed him, they probably drained his energon reserve levels, and he just blacked out and died in that way. Or the other way that he could have died is that he didn't have a sufficient enough energon supply within him to last him the journey to actually even find the creators. He may not have known where the creators even was. He might not have known where to find them. He probably just went searching for them, but he never had enough energon to last him that journey, and he ended up probably just dying off from sufficiency of energon, a lack thereof. And so I think that could be another way. He could die just from losing energon, because you know Autobots got to keep a good supply of energon to keep them going. It's like us in water. We need water to keep us going. We have water in us. It's like us going in the desert without any water. Eventually, we're going to die. We don't have any water. We don't have anything to keep us going, hydrated. Now, another thing I think, another route this could be taken is that Optimus Prime is not dead. He could be blacked out, unconscious. Because Anthony Hopkins did not say he's dead. He said he's left us. Now, if you think about that, Optimus Prime has left us. He's left to go meet the creators. So I think Michael Bay's playing with us with this scene, because I don't think he's gonna die. I think he just blacked out. I think something's like, he's unconscious, he's out of it, he's in stasis. I don't think he's dead. Why? Because we see him later on, you know? But because that scene was shown with Optimus Prime floating in space, it gives the illusion that he's dead. We don't know for sure, so don't get your panties in the uproar. I think Optimus Prime is gonna live throughout this movie, but something will happen to him that's very tragic to cause him to be floating in space like this. And I believe this particular scene is gonna be kind of more in the beginning of the movie rather than the end, mainly because you have this Optimus versus Bumblebee thing that we're fixing to see, and this whole Optimus versus Autobots and the whole like evil Optimus Prime thing. That has to happen, so I think this might be in the beginning of the movie. And then this switches over to a desert scene with this Cybertronian structure. It's like a thing just like poking out of the desert. We don't know what this is. It could be a ship, like a broken piece of an Autobot or Decepticon ship. It could be an ancient structure that may house the relic that is needed to restore Cybertron. It could be anything. This could be anything. I've seen some people say, oh, this is a Transformer. No. That's not a Transformer. This is not, you know, that's not a Transformer. It looks like a structure. It looks like a base, maybe. A broken piece, because there is smoke coming out of it. If you freeze the frame, you can kind of see some smoke almost like coming out of it. So maybe it's a crashed piece of an alien ship. So next you will see Anthony Hopkins. That's right, he's in this little, I guess it's like a little castle or like a huge medieval chamber, and he has his suspenders on, and he's touching this seal, this medieval seal. And if you kind of read it, I mean, it's kind of hard to read, but if you read it, it says Victoria, and it says sign, S-I-N-E. Now that particular thing looks kind of familiar to the same cross we saw in the beginning of the trailer. One of the first things we've seen, it looks almost like that. It kind of resembles that. So they may be the same thing, maybe the cross once again. We can't really tell about the shape of it because it's so zoomed in to the little seal and his hand rubbing it. We do switch over to a scene with Isabella Mona once again, and she's kind of like grabbing the lower rim of Squeak's eye, and she's looking into Squeak's eye. Like, it's like an eye-to-eye contact. Her and Squeak is having a very intimate moment. And then you switch over to a scene where the Transformers Reaction Force soldiers are surrounding Mark Wahlberg, and he's in surrendering position. He is not fighting back. It's kind of like a police warrant, right? And he looks back. Really nice shot of Mark Wahlberg looking back. And then you see the moon, right? You see the moon and this huge planet-like structure, Cybertronian structure, that's almost looks like it's gonna collide with the moon, which if it does, that'd be cool to look at. A lot of people think it's Unicron. I saw some people say it's Unicron. I don't think it's Unicron for many reasons. Unicron is a planet that transforms into a figure. This is a planet that's breaking apart into different smaller figures. I do not think that's Unicron. I personally think that is Cybertron that has been repaired or cyberformed. I believe Cybertron has little pods that can eject, and it can break apart so that the entire planet can fit in smaller areas instead of the whole planet, because again, Cybertron is huge, right? In order for it to fit inside of Earth, it has to kind of like break into smaller pieces, and the little pieces can fit into Earth's atmosphere, right? Rather than the whole entire planet. And if you look into the next scene, of course it says in 2017, you see those same pieces. You see those Cybertronian pieces that broke off of the planet inside of Earth. It's within Earth. Those pieces are in Earth. You see grass at the bottom of it. Like, you see grass. Like, it's like almost like oxygen exists on this planet. And so these pieces kind of like come down into Earth, and you see Linux, you see Cade Yeager, and you see Laura Haddock, and somebody in the background, don't know who that is, but somebody, you see all four of them looking up like, whoa. So they came down. I believe Cybertron is going to come to Earth, and that's what that means. You see Laura Haddock's character, she's like in distress, her hair is all over the place, it's raining, she doesn't know what's going on. Very intense moment. I actually really like that scene. That was a really cool scene to add in there. Then it switches over to Isabella Mona in a junkyard running down towards an auto little section. She's running down the junkyard. We don't know why she's in a junkyard. It could be she could be running from a Decepticon. She could be running towards something. But something's really urgent. And then it switches into Bumblebee fighting this human-made robot. If you kind of read it, it says, like, it has the little logo, the upside-down V. So that's probably a Transformers Reaction Force robot that Bumblebee's fighting. He completely destroys it. He annihilates it. And then you hear Isabella Mona say, I want to fight them. Then you see Mark Wahlberg shooting the Cybertronian pistol. Then you see another scene where there's a bunch of Decepticons in one area. There's a major explosion. Isabella Mona is like traumatized, and Mark Wahlberg's character is trying to save her, get her away from it. Then you see Megatron walking in this wasteland, and he's walking like almost like what's going on? Like he's just like frozen. I don't know what was going on there. Then you see a bunch of action, explosion. You see Mark Wahlberg running. You hear Linux saying that the operation's over, we're not gonna give up. Then they fall into the water, and they grab hands. And then there's a chase scene with crosshairs and the British police. It's a lot of action, right? There's Megatron throwing his axe down in front of Linux. Smoke goes all over the place. Mark Wahlberg in the water. The explosions. Bumblebee versus Barricade. He shoots Barricade while Mark Wahlberg hangs out of his car. And Optimus Prime looks up and behold the last scene. Oh my god. And Optimus Prime body slams Bumblebee. Says forgive me. Unleashes his sword. And stabs him. Right? We don't know if he stabs him. But he goes down to stab him. So he rips a piece of his chest off. Says forgive me. Goes down to stab him. Mark Wahlberg is complete like... traumatized, and if you look at Bumblebee's eyes, poor thing, it made me so sad. If you pause and just look at his eyes, like, Optimus, it's me, like, why are you hurting me? Like, I don't know, it was a very sad scene for me, man. So that is the trailer, guys. It's a very, very awesome trailer. It was a great, great trailer. Akiva Goldsman is the guy who is writing this story, and from the looks of it, this story is going to be pretty intense, so I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. So yeah, guys, that's the breakdown of the trailer. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have anything to say, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, that's all for today. If you have your own theories, put them in the comment section. I want to read them. So yeah, that's all for today, guys. My name is Alfonso Peterman. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.